Hello and welcome to From Here to Career. This is all about getting prepared for the job search, and we're basically going to dump everything out onto your lap except the kitchen sink and just hope that something will stick and just help you along with your job search process. Below this video, you'll see a link. You might see multiple links, but there's one that is called the Job Search Hacks. And this is what we're basing this presentation on. It is a checklist, and you don't have to do every step, of course, but we do think that these steps are very beneficial and just can help you kind of get guidelines for steps to take and what might help you in this process. And so hopefully this video will just help as we elaborate on those. And while this is a recording of this workshop, I want you to know that we can really provide you better help than just this video. So just depending on your schedule, what your life is like, if you can watch this live, we highly recommend that because depending on how many are in attendance, we can really cater more specifically to you and to your job search, what you're looking for, what your industry is, stuff like that. However, like I said, if your schedule is hectic or we don't have one coming up soon and you are able to watch this video, I would also encourage you, if you're a WT student currently or an alum, to reach out to us through Handshake and schedule an appointment with us. And this will just give us an opportunity, like I said, to really cater more directly to you and to your needs, because I can give you a general overview of job search hacks, of course, but if I know what you are specifically looking for or what you're needing, we can really better provide you that resource. And so we do have several different appointment options that would kind of relate to this topic. So like the professional job search, career coaching, quick career question. We also have, of course, resume or cover letter review, interview preparation, and even more options. Just sign up to what kind of fits best to your needs. And then in the notes, just provide us some details that can really help us to prepare well for your appointment and then just kind of have some talking points ready. And again, catering it directly to you and to your needs. And so let's go ahead and get started. And so the first thing that is important is that you need to know yourself. And so what we've seen over the years is that being self-aware really is a superpower. The more you know who you are and what you want to do, the better you can communicate that to employers and the better that you can target your search. And so when you graduate and you feel ready, excuse me. So when you graduate, it's not always that there's a job lined up directly to the degree you have. I mean, yes, like there are some like teacher, likely you'll go on to teach. However, there are some programs where it's not necessarily a perfect job for this perfect degree that you received. And so there are lots of things that you could potentially do. And so knowing what you really want and then focusing on those opportunities first could be really helpful for you. So strengths are really important. If you really understand and can articulate your strengths, you've got answers for several interview questions, and knowing what your top 5 are can really help you cater to them and really be able to speak fully upon your strengths, as well as find work that will help you to be and feel successful. And it doesn't mean that because you have these top 5 strengths means that you have to do this specific job. It doesn't work that way. But knowing them can really help you see how you can use them every day at work and help you to find a job that is more congruent with what it is that you're after. And so Gallup's State of the American Workplace report finds that just 4 in 10 employees strongly agree they have the opportunity to do what they do best every single day. And so people who focus on their strengths are 3 times as likely to report having an excellent quality of life and are 6 times as likely to be engaged in their jobs. And you want to be engaged in your job. When you're engaged in your job, you're going to be happier, you're going to be more productive, your employer is going to be happier. And so you really want to be able to produce results because you are utilizing your strengths. And so if you haven't done this assessment, this is a wonderful place to start just to get the good information. And if you don't know this, WT is a strengths campus. And so we do have a link to it called Buff Strong. And so if you'll go to that link, you can take the assessment. The Take the Assessment Now button is kind of small. And so just be mindful of that. You do scroll a little bit. And then you'll select new account, use your WT email address, and then take the assessment and learn your top 5. And so the assessment is about 180 questions, but you do have limited time to answer each question because they want you to answer based on your initial gut reaction. And so it won't take that long. Um, they also give you a report on your results that is ways that you can use your strengths to succeed, and then an insight report, which helps you to see what makes you stand out with that strength, as well as a description of it. And so, for example, my number two strength is input. And with the insight report, on what makes me stand out with that, the first thing that it says is because of your strengths, you probably acquired a fascination for reading as a child. Well, do you know what I did as a child? I read all the time. My nose was always in a book. And so I'm not saying that this is always going to be true for you or that the first line is going to be like, oh my gosh, that's me. Um, but I do think that it will provide you a great insight and just help you better understand yourself, which will allow you to better articulate your strengths on your resume as well as to an employer. And so this is the essential need of the career readiness competencies based on the National Association of Colleges and Employers. They do survey real employers to get this information and to get this weighted rating. And so it's rated for competencies that employers are looking for. And it's also what you'll see on most job postings. So when you're getting ready to start applying for jobs, think about ways that you have problem solved in the past. How are you at working on teams and that sort of thing? And then if you know you're kind of low on something, find ways to just really strengthen up those areas. And so maybe that's taking an elective in communication based course, or just joining a team, joining an organization, stepping up to be the leadership of an organization you're already involved in. Just start enhancing those now. And if you're a senior about to graduate, there still are ways to enhance these. LinkedIn has lots of opportunities. Touch base with us and we can help brainstorm ways for you to really enhance these. But we want to make sure that you know what employers want as they are hiring. And so the value of career coaching, this is so important. We offer so many ways that we can help you. And this is from answering questions, providing strengths coaching. So once you've taken the Clifton Strengths Assessment, you can actually schedule an appointment with one of our certified strengths coaches and just learn more about your strengths and how you can use those daily, how you're already using them, how you can strengthen them, all that fun stuff. Or if you're still exploring, we can help you with that as well. And we also offer the My Plan assessment. It has 4 assessments, and once you've taken all 4, it does give you a compiled list of careers or potential jobs that kind of match based on your responses. I believe it's personality, interest, value. And I always forget the 4th one, but it compiles all those results and just shows you, I think values is the last one, just shows you careers or job titles that people answered that are in those fields. They answered a percentage similar to you. And so this might not necessarily mean like you need to be a marine biologist or a mortician, but it'll give you job titles maybe you didn't think about before, or it'll just kind of help you to see what areas you're interested in or what you're drawn toward. For example, we had somebody who wanted to be a counselor, and her top 2% or her top 2 results were a mortician and a police officer, or someone who ran a morgue. And so at first she was very distraught, but then we really discussed with her like a police officer, and sometimes they're often dealing with people who are really struggling mentally. They're in a dark place. Maybe they're dealing with a terrible situation. They were just in a car accident. Their loved one has passed away from that car accident, and the police officer is there to comfort them and console them. And so that's kind of related to counseling. Kind of similarly, a mortician or someone who runs a morgue, again, they're dealing with people on maybe the darkest day of their life. They have to bury their loved one, their spouse, whatever, their child. And so, again, they have to be comforting and offer a comfortable environment, a loving environment. And so that can kind of relate back to counseling. And so, long story short, My Plan assessment might be able to help you connect some dots that you hadn't thought about before. We also invite you to meet with a career advisor. All of our full-time staff, except for our employer relations folks, meet with students regularly just to talk through challenges, review resumes, help with interviewing, all kinds of stuff like that. And so we're here to help you. Whether you're a current WT student or a WT alum, our mission is to serve you. And so let us help you. So it's hard to hit a target that you haven't identified. Um, and so really identifying one or more targets, figuring out what you want to do, even if it's two or three things that you want to do, can really help you focus your direction. And it's hard to go on a search if you don't know what it is you want. And so it's almost counterintuitive. Something we hear often is, "I'm keeping my options open. I'm not picky." Now this sounds good, but you can't articulate what it is you want to even really do a good search. But you also couldn't tell an employer like, "This is why I want to work for you. This is where I want to be." If you're just kind of like, "Yeah, I might want to work there." You want to be honest and genuine and have a purpose and be aiming towards something specific. And so, if you know your ultimate target, you can get closer or within that industry. Or if you're working with a career advisor, we can help you just learn closer to the industry that will help you prepare for the job that you want. Something we used to have to do, or we used to have students do, was develop a top 10 list, whether that's employers, industries, job titles that you'd like to have, whatever. Just sort of saying, here is my focus area. It makes it much easier. And if you create that and then meet with a career advisor, we can really help you with different tricks to maybe narrow it down or find ways to make connections with within those areas. We also want to talk about getting ready for the search and the various things that you can do about that. And we want you to be able to be ready and be able to articulate what it is that you have to offer. So first thing is Handshake, which is our jobs database. Hopefully you've heard of it. This should be the home base for your job search. A lot of great resources are out there for sure. But the thing about Handshake that is unique is that there are hundreds of schools across the country that use Handshake. And so when employers connect to that, they know that this is going to lead me to recent graduates. So they're looking to hire talent that recently graduated from college. So they're going to post those positions in Handshake. It's possible that it actually could also be less frustrating to do your search on Handshake or at least start there. So, for example, if you ever search Indeed for like finance jobs, it's going to be the 20 years of previous experience, 20 years of relevant experience. And you'll think, well, gosh, I don't have that. Or maybe you're barely 20 or you're 22. So that's impossible. And so you're going to have to weed through a lot of jobs that are looking for those hyper experienced people. And so that's why Handshake is also another reason why Handshake is great. So hopefully you've activated your Handshake profile. And so get on and do that if you haven't already. If you've ever searched for a part-time job or internship in there, you've already done that. But make sure to fill out your information and update it accordingly. Edit your interests and your preferences, and so on and so forth. And the system actually will get smarter about what you're looking for. So if you say that you're interested in jobs in Dallas, tell it that. I mean, like, it's going to make a huge difference. It will suggest jobs to you that are in that area related to the other interests you've talked about. So again, like if you say you want to be a graphic designer in Dallas and there's a graphic design position in Fort Worth, you might get an email saying, hey, yeah, this is in Dallas, but it's close. And so this is also where you can make appointments with us. So like a resume review, interview preparation conversation, career advising. You can also sign up for events, like if you want to attend the live version of this. And so make sure, again, that that is up to date and that you are logging in and active on there. You can also research employers and see their postings on Handshake. So we also encourage you to get a great resume. Here's a lame dad joke that we use around here. Resume is like toilet paper. It's only good for one use. And so too many times students are wondering why they're not getting any calls for interviews and they have a one size fits all resume that they're sending out. That's not the way to get a job. In our office, we've recently been in the search for an employee, a new employee in our office space, and it makes a huge difference when their resume is targeted specifically to our job. There are a few people that love to apply to every job that WT ever posts, and they use the same resume every time. And so when we see that, we know you're just looking for any job here. You don't want to work specifically with us. And so we or whoever is hiring, they want to know that you want to work with them. Like you're after our office because you love our mission or our vision or our values, whatever. Um, excuse me. We also utilize an artificial intelligence resume reviewing software called VMock. It is great. We do recommend using it sparingly, but do put your resume in there It'll give you responses like you've used this same word 17 times, use a different word. And so you only get 10 per academic year. And so again, use that sparingly while you're a student. Don't keep submitting to get a higher score because you'll run out of those uses. So submit it once or twice, and then schedule a resume review with someone in our office, and we can help you further refine it. Again, target the resume and then meet with us to look at it. So if you have a specific job that you're applying for, send us the job description with when you sign up for a resume review appointment. And again, we can look at the qualification statements, the preferred qualifications, the necessary qualifications, and really help you to target your statements directly to that job. We can also tell you when you've hit a home run and maybe where you could use some improvement. And it can become pretty easy to tell if you've been applying for lots of jobs and you're not getting any interviews, it's likely the resume. If you're getting lots of interviews but no offers, then you need to practice your interviewing skills. And so again, the resume is super important. And so I just kind of discussed this. Again, you get 10 uploads per year. So maybe do 1 or 2, fine tune it, do the updates it suggests, and then schedule a review with us. That way you still have uses for down the road if you're applying for another job or you want to update it, whatever. So interviewing, we can also help you with your elevator pitch. This is an important, roughly 30-second pitch that is your self-intro. Don't stress out about listing your most impressive accomplishments and your credentials or give an exhaustively long life story. Focus on sharing the most relevant and interesting parts of yourself for the specific person or persons with whom you're speaking at the moment. And so we can help you learn how to write this and practice it and teach you how to target and edit it depending on who you're speaking with. We also offer workshops on interviewing. So if you dive a little bit deeper into our YouTube channel, you can see our Interviewing Insights recording. You can also check out our events list and handshake or our calendar on the wtamu.edu/career website. And you can see the schedule of when we will have that workshop live again. And there's also an art to dressing for an interview. And so we can help you with this. We also have a clothing closet where we, for free, can provide you clothing that's appropriate for interviews that you can have for yourself for future events as well. And then, of course, there are mock interviews each semester and a few during the summer. And you do have to have your resume reviewed prior to signing up for a mock interview. But we get employers from all over that we have connections with. Right now in the Corona era, we're doing all of them through Zoom, but this also means we can get some of our long distance employers to help as well. And so it's an opportunity for you to sit down for about 20 minutes and do a mock interview with a real employer who does interviews for their job. And then they'll spend about 10 more minutes after giving you feedback. They might give you some resume tips, and of course, how to better answer questions, how to compose yourself, tips if you're nervous, that kind of fun stuff. And so we will have another one in January, and then I think there's 4 total in the spring semester. We also have common interview questions on our website, and one of the most important things to make sure you're researching is the company. Read their website, their mission, their vision, their strategic plan, learn more about them, read the news, what are they doing, and then casually bring that up in your answers. If you're applying for Amarillo National Bank, hey, I heard you're opening a new branch on Washington Street. What are your plans for blah, 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 and so on. And so show that you're informed and that you bothered to make an effort. It shows you're really interested and invested in them. We've got tons of resources. If you haven't figured that out yet, we also have social media, and so sometimes we post helpful hints out there. We also encourage you to, like I said, further check out our YouTube. We've really ramped it up during the coronavirus pandemic, and check out what resources are out there. We also have done information sessions with employers that might be good for you to watch, and so learn what they're looking for directly from the employer. And then we do send out a weekly Tuesday tip email, and it's also posted on our Instagram, and so we hope you'll check that out. We do offer some good insight and just tips each week for you to be better prepared. And so we've talked about a lot of things, but probably what you came here for is the search itself, and so we want to help you use your resources and to not give up, so we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that now. And so searching for opportunities, like we mentioned earlier, Handshake is a great opportunity. You can favorite jobs as well as employers, and it can update your profile, and Handshake will email you opportunities that may match with you. Employers can also reach out to you with opportunities. They might check out your profile and be like, wow, this person, they have all the relevant experience, they have what we want. And when it comes to networking, we know we're gonna have the career fair again this spring. It will be virtual. Hopefully someday we can have one in person again, but for now it is virtual, so it's easily accessible by anyone. And so if you're still looking, by then you're still welcome to come. Alumni are always welcome. Just reach out if it's still virtual, and we can help you get connected and registered for that. There's also a great value in informational interviewing. And this is more important now than in regular times, because you can't just go out and stop by someone's office and just start talking to them, you know? And so, let people know that you're searching and what you're looking for. Let them know who you are and what you want, and make a list of everyone you know with a connection in the world that you're interested in. So if you're interested in finances, every connection you have, write that down, because those can be people that you can do informational interviews with. Also, update your LinkedIn and utilize this to network as well. You can also use it to connect with people for informational interviews. Um, and so think about what is your dream job or your dream company. Say you can't find any job openings for that company. And if that's the case, you know what job you want, what you're really after. Just think through everyone you know. Start sending super targeted emails and attach a copy of your industry resume, and you want to send it out to all the people individually, not as one big email, individual emails. And so, say you know a professor that's in the finance field or whatever you're interested in, say, Dear Dr. Smith, I took this class as an undergrad, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm in the market for a position as a financial advisor. I'd really love to work for this company, but I'm open to other opportunities at this time. I just wanted to say that if you hear of anything, I hope that you'll let me know. Is there someone you know that I should talk to? And then, set a goal for how many, so that's the end of the email. Set a goal for how many, people you will do a informational interview a week until you get a job. And so maybe that's 1, maybe that's 2, just depending on, your time frame, that kind of stuff. And, if you haven't heard this before, if you're graduated and you're in the job search field, searching for a job can be your full-time job. Like, if it takes 40 hours a week, take 40 hours a week to search for that job. Of course, if you don't have the funds, you're like working part-time, 3 part-time jobs until you get a full-time job. That's unrealistic, but just know that you should be spending a lot of time on it. And so making these connections is so important, especially for the hidden job market, because having those people know your name, know what you're interested in, know what you're after can really help open doors for you. And so right now, there might be lots of companies that need help, that they have positions they want to fill, but they're waiting because of X, Y, or Z. Maybe they're waiting until our new president is in office, or till we have a vaccine, or whatever it is. They might be waiting, and so you want to be the person that comes to mind when that job is allowed to be filled. And so, just a story I wanted to share that I read one time. It was about a young woman who was about to leave school for the holidays, and she was in a handbell choir. They were performing a concert at a local church, and at the end, the minister asked the choir to introduce themselves to the congregation. Most people just said their names, but on a whim, this is what she said. I'm Hannah, and I'm a Russian area studies major, and I just returned from a year in Moscow, and I would love to go back again. The audience smiled and clapped. Hannah thought nothing more about it, until a woman stopped her as she was leaving the church and said, My husband is an executive with a local company that is just starting to do business in Russia. Would you like to meet him? Of course, Hannah said yes, and the woman gave her the executive's home phone number. So Hannah called him that evening, and a few weeks later, she was on a plane to Moscow, escorting several company executives on a 2-week fact-finding trip. So she translated for them, she showed them around the city, she explained how many of the services there worked, and she even was able to sit on several confidential meetings. So when she returned for the spring semester, she interned with the company and received a job offer at graduation. And so this just goes to show that there are unique ways to network. Don't always say, Hi, I'm looking for a job in Russia. Like, if she had said that, that woman probably never would have stopped, never would have gone up to her and then talked to her. But the way she said it, that I would love to return to Russia, really opened that door for her. And so be mindful of that as well as you are networking. And so follow up. This is so important. So make sure you're sending thank you notes after every single interaction, whether it's with an employer, whether it's an informational interview, whatever. Send a thank you note. It makes a huge impact and it makes a huge difference. And then follow up. If it's a job interview, follow up a week later if you haven't heard anything. Hey, just checking in, wanted to see if there was any questions you had for me, if there was anything further you needed from me, just wanted to check on my status in the process, whatever it is. Taking that initiative shows that you really are invested and interested in the position. And so this is a great way to look at the job search. Job searching is like a pinata. If you hit it hard enough, you'll be rewarded. All right, so because this is pre-recorded, I obviously can't take your questions. So please reach out to us if you have any. Email us at wtcareer@wtmu.edu. Message us on social media. Drop a comment below. We would love to help you and to answer any of your direct questions. Maybe talk through your situation, kind of what you've been doing, how we can help you, that kind of stuff. Or you could even give us an idea of where you are in the search and how it's going, and then we can further discuss this and maybe help you further that process, brainstorm ideas that you may not have thought of yet. And so, like I said before, our mission is to serve you, and we would love to do that, whatever it may look like. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you.